Just we're killing them. The materials that we're using, there's something called Crossfire. It's a long-term residual that they're doing as a precaution. So when the bed bugs do occur, they're already dying. And we do something for apartment complex. It's called bed bug defense, where we'll go in every quarter and go through every room and treat it with Crossfire as a precaution.
Wow. You go to the circus out in Las Vegas and there's complaints constantly about that.
Really? Well, see, I guess they're getting a lot more overseas travelers than we get, probably. So. What I'm giving out here is a guide of what to look for by season. I'm sure some of you or most of you have seen a lot of this stuff. I got plenty. I got hundreds of them.
It's all nice and colorful.
You know we're all going to go home itching.
Yeah.
I'm already looking at it.
There you go. So what this is a guide where I'll give to my customers. When I'm sending emails out, trying to get people to sign the proposals and all, I'm always following up, and whenever I follow up, I don't just say I'm just checking in or something like that. I try to send them something that might be of use, this is one of the brochures that I use. But if you look in there, if you look at the spring right now, that's pretty much what we're going through. Is anybody experiencing these or?
I don't see
ticks on my dog.
Ticks?
I had a tick on my dog yesterday.
You're going to do something about it?
Yeah, I took him to the vet.
Okay. Well, you should treat your yard though. If there's one tick, there's hundreds of them.
Guinea hens.
Chris, there's a medication you can give your dog as soon as he bites.
Yeah, they gave it to me at the vet.
Yeah.
When I went to emergency vet, got everything.
Well, I get mine every month. So
Yeah.
If you wash the dog with Dawn, that'll kill any.
Okay.
It'll kill the eggs too, believe it or not.
Someone does everything.
Yeah, that's great shit. Spiders. Now the thing with spiders, they're eating something. So you gotta find out what the source is. Where are you seeing the spiders?
We got them out front porch all over the place. My son just required enough to change the light bulb, did water, light in the front of the
Well, I would recommend. Oh, you're getting black widows? Yeah. They're very common, believe it or not, in New Jersey.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're cracks and crevices usually find them. But if you're seeing them like that, you're probably getting a lot of mosquito activity outside.
We have them in the house too.
Yeah. So recommendation there: yellow light out front. Won't attract mosquitoes. It'll slow the spiders. Yellow lights, or high pressure sodium lights. If you use it, if you have, like.
That we get a lot of. I think they're called wolf spiders, the big fuzzy ones.
Mm-hmm.
Are they like? I know.
The bigger the spider, the less poisonous.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes. And with a wolf spider, you might get like a little allergic reaction, depending on your tolerance. But that's usually what it is. It's an allergic reaction.
I'm more worried about my dog.
When I was a kid, they always said black widows.
If a dog eats it, it's not going to hurt the dog.
When I was a kid, they always said black widows will kill you.
If you get stung enough times, yeah. But one sting on a black widow wouldn't kill a human. Make you sick. You'd have a reaction, absolutely. And it depends on your tolerance too. I mean, some people may not go through anything really, depending on what it is. I've been stung by 2 or 3 spiders, probably not by black widow, but I've never had a reaction. Some people get those big rings. You ever see they get the?
My grandson got something. He thought it was a mosquito bite, but it's got that ring around it, so I know it's a spider.
Yeah. Another thing, people talk about brown recluse spiders around here. No such thing. Okay, that's a tropical animal. So so they don't live in this area. All right, so everybody said, "Oh, it's a brown recluse. It's a brown recluse." No. Brown recluse spider, if you look at it, it looks like it has a violin on its back. Kind of like the black widow has a hourglass. Well, it has looks like a violin on its back. It's shaped kind of like this too. So you're getting spider bites that's not from brown recluse, unless you're going to Las Vegas. They probably have them there, but.
So back to ticks again. You said treat the yard, obviously, and that makes sense. But what if you live like my house? I mean, you live in the middle of the woods, so you can't really treat.
Well, you could treat what you treat in this situation like that is your taller grasses and any foliage around the yard, because that's what they're waiting in. They're waiting in that for animals to pass through so they can grab on. They call it questing. They're holding on with their back legs, and as an animal comes by. So if you go in there with a mister, you'll kill all the adults. You may not kill eggs, but that's a service we offer monthly. So
I did pull a tick off one of my grandkids last month. What should I look for as far as after I pull it off?
I'm not sure about that. You have to talk to a doctor. I know that you have to make sure you get the head out. So when you don't just pull it, you got to scratch it out. Yeah.
They will naturally back out.
That actually can be a problem.
What?
If you hit them with heat,
No, no, just
it'll make
the
them
heat
throw
up.
up inside.
Yeah. I've never heard that before. But I know they tell us to scratch it off and make sure you don't see anything in there.
I pull it off with
Tweezers?
tweezers, and then I make sure there's nothing.
Yeah, just make sure. Yeah.
Because I have a tick magnet.
If you heat them, though, I think if you heat them up, they can actually swell. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
One from having Lyme disease. I ended up with a bullseye, got really go big. So we're thinking off and you start seeing the black and blue bring around. And it wasn't that the doctor said just hey, black and blue. It was essential rings. I had like 3 rings. So
So if you're having some kind of reaction, you'll see something.
Yeah.
Where'd you pick it up, you think?
No idea.
go ahead.
No.
I'm one of them idiots that can walk out here and end up with ticks on me.
He literally brings them home every day.
We just treated Kingston Shopping Center. They had a show kind of like the street fair in their parking lot along the they have an area of foliage the whole length of the parking lot. Well, they all ran out of there screaming because they're getting covered with ticks. They left their tents in there and everything. Thousands of ticks. So we went in there and fogged it, took care of them. So, but that's the best way to take care of the ticks. You use a mister, and then we put a granule residual down for when rain occurs. Then it's activated by rain.
Is that safe for animals?
Yes, absolutely. So what happens is it's at ground level and it's not activated until there's rain. And then it seeps into the soil.
Not being stupid. I mean, you've been out to my house. I'm not holding anybody's feet to fire. Tick prevention for something like that around the house like that. Approximation.
Could be very cost-wise.
Yes.
$150 a month.
Better get one.
But it's part of, mosquitoes are included with that too. That's part of it. Mosquitoes, I don't know if anybody knows it, but mosquitoes can only travel 20 feet before they have to land and rest. So the reason that mosquito service is so effective is when you're treating all the foliage and the areas where people, say your patio area, the grass and all, when they land, they're dead. That's what we use against them. So it's not like going into the woods and killing millions of mosquitoes. It's if you treat the perimeter of your house, now you have a nice barrier, and they land on the foliage and it kills them. Yeah.
Now, the mosquitoes need water to hatch, but they don't need water to live.
No.
Once they hatch, then they can.
Yeah. If you have standing water around your house, get rid of it. Any type of standing water, bird baths, dump them out once in a while. You know what I mean?
So you were at a friend of mine's house before the camp. I have a friend with like an acre and a half in Woodland City. And he decided to take down probably 12 trees on his property. Now that
At least.
At least 12. I mean, he gets
Big ones, too.
Big trees. Now those trees are rotting. They're stumps. They're stump down. Is that what is attracting the termites?
The root mass usually gets eaten first. So the stump, it could be there for 10 years before you can see any effects on it. But they're eating the stump. They're underground, so they're eating the roots first usually. They will attack other colonies will attack the rest of it. But,
This whole project 10 years ago.
yeah, so, and he's got issue. I found live termites in the mulch bed right next to his house. So, yes, with stumps, don't bother grinding them out. It's not going to stop you from getting termites.
Right.
Because you have a root mass that could be 100 yards long. So,
Buy a backhoe.
There you go.
well,
Even that, you can't get the leak back. Oh, that's it.
really the smart thing to do is just put Centricon around your house and forget about it. You know what I mean? Because it just keeps working, and you don't have to work. You don't even have to think about it.
How do you, other than fly traps, where we are with all the horse farms around us, flies are just.
Fly baits are very effective. We put up stations that would be around the areas you're talking about. Fly bait goes inside the station, so nothing.
In the house.
In the house, there's also. What are you seeing in the house though? Regular house flies?
We have regular house flies, we have oversized flies, we have gnats,
The oversized flies are usually something that died. The big, that look like house flies and they're big.
yeah.
They're usually something died outside.
Yeah, horse patties this big.
Yeah, well, that's
There's nothing.
I'm getting them in the shop too, though, the big ones.
Yeah, there's
I don't
nothing
know, I
dead.
never did.
fly lights.
I use a Zevo.
What is it?
A Zevo,
What's that?
if you plug it in, it's the blue.
Oh yeah. If you put them around the house, they'll work to a certain. They're not going to stop it,
No, I know.
but something's got to be done on the outside where we got to find the source on the outside. A lot of times you'll see the really tiny ones.
Yeah.
They're fungus gnats. You'll see them after it rains in your lawn. And if you get a heavy rain, you'll see millions of them. But usually flies, the best way to take care of flies is by baiting and finding whatever is decaying that's attracting them. Because that's what,
Horses.
yeah.
I mean,
So, but you could put fly bait stations inside a barn. You could put them on the outside of the barn. They're very effective. We use them at restaurants for, pizza places that have the dumpster right at the back door. You know what I mean? So, well, there's liquids and then there's granules. I like the granules because they last longer.
There's a difference between fly baits and fly traps. We've used fly traps, which kind of attracts them, and then they end up in the bag in the water and drown. But what you're talking about is fly bait,
They eat it and they're dead.
They die.
Yeah.
Do you deal with mold?
Yes, it's very expensive.
that was a big sigh.
We got one right there.
Moles are, the problem with moles is that you're sharing them with everybody.
The moles.
Yeah. So just because they're in your yard, they're in your neighbor's yard too. You know what I mean? There are baits you can use. Taliprid is one. You put it in the burrows, they eat it, it'll kill them.
I've tried the oversized sound ones that you bury. And
Yeah.
they really work.
Mole work is very iffy. We don't make any guarantees.
What's weird is that they come and go.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Well,
What I was
you
told-
probably have a heavy grub population under the
That's
lawn.
what I was told. He said, my farmer friend said, you don't have a mole problem.
Yeah, the
Grub problem, yeah. So Grub X is a good product. You could try that.
They used all that. They seem to come and go.
But then, well, how often are you using the Grub X? Yeah.
When the grubs leave, they
You got healthy soil though. I mean, that's what that means, If
You
that's,
spray the lawn, if you're talking about spraying the lawn for bugs, how long? How long does it take before it's like resistant to water, or rain, or especially like?
It depends on the product. It depends on the product, but what we use is usually lasts about 3 months, depending on weather. If we're getting 4 inches of rain, it's not going to last that long.
How long does it have to be on before it's like resistant to
So-
rain? Like, let's say you did it today and it rains this afternoon, would that be all right?
As long as it has time to dry. But if you get a rainstorm for the next 2 days, it's going to be gone. So everything we use is water-based. So, as a matter of fact, a lot of the pesticides can't be applied 24 hours before or after rain, because then it ends up leaching into our soil and then into our drinking water,
And the DEP.
and then we all have cancer. Yeah. What's that?
The DEP mandates with this chemical.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if somebody finds a dead animal and they test it and it died from a pesticide, now there's a huge federal investigation of the whole area. They'll knock on people's doors. Who are you using? What's the material that killed the animal? And they'll find out who did it, and then you're in big trouble.
Right.
Non-target animal is minimum $15,000 fine.
Really?
Minimum.
That also goes with non-targeted insects too, from what I understand. If you use one product to kill another insect that wasn't intended, you guys they're burying you guys on this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Like honeybees. Honeybees, you got to be real careful.
Anybody have any more questions?
I think there's a discussion to that again. There's
Yeah.
a lot of questions. We haven't stopped asking questions since you stood up.
Hold on, are the honeybees a protected class?
What is it?
Are the honeybees a protected class?
Absolutely.
As we all went off on different ways, what would be a good referral for you? What businesses what are you looking for?
Any type of commercial business, anything from apartments to food distribution plants. I do a photography agency. I do dentist offices. I do weed dispensaries. I do it all. So anything commercial,
You don't particularly want residential.
I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm really I'm a commercial sales rep. So, but I'll sell it all. It's not a problem. It still goes towards my goal. So.
All right.